Good morning, ladies and gents, and welcome to The Process. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, The Process? I thought this was going to be some Minecraft video, but all I've seen so far has been a guy dramatically opening a bottle of Great Propel and then drinking it while watching a video of two monkeys fighting over a banana. This is quite literally the opposite of what I wanted from this video. To that I say, good riddance, hater. I hope you live to the ripe old age of 73 and then get attacked by a surprisingly well-organized gaggle of geese. And frankly, I hope they're armed. This is my channel, and to be quite honest with you, I'll do whatever I like on it. Anyways, not to backpedal on my word, but I think I should probably explain what exactly this series is. Basically, to keep it short and sweet for you all, I believe that when every child is born, they are given certain gifts. Some are athletic, some kids are smart, and some can build a mediocre Minecraft house. For a bit of backstory, I was working on this village with one of my friends, Patrick, when I first got the idea to do this series. He was doing his usual amount of sucking up, telling me how talented, hardworking, and sexy I am, and frankly, his compliments were no longer enough to satisfy my hunger for respect and admiration. I sat perplexed for a long time, thinking hard about how to achieve glory among gamers. I'm not going to lie to you guys, it was a pretty intense brainstorming session before I finally came up with the idea to publish my work on YouTube. I mean, what better platform is there to gain a significant amount of followers in order to slowly corrupt their minds into perceiving me as no longer human, but something far more powerful. Anyways guys, that's basically why I started this series, and I hope you enjoy it. Before we get into the building today, I wanted to take you guys over to my board on Trello. Trello is basically this project management tool I use to keep myself on track when building substantial projects like the one we will be starting today. It has all these nifty features that allow me to check things off and see how close I am to finishing the project. This is absolutely necessary for me because I get distracted quite easily, and this allows me to actually finish the things that I start. Before anyone asks, I'm not sponsored by them, but hello, hey Trello boys, if you're watching, hit me up. Anyways, I decided that this village we built is a tad too happy. Sure, it has cute little farmhouses and what I can only imagine would be a bustling economy from its copious amount of wheat exports, but the village lacks real struggle. Even with the cave meant to serve as a home for the less fortunate, the town still feels a little too on the ups. I really enjoy adding lore to my Minecraft builds. It just makes the whole world feel so much more real and lived in, and what's more real than an evil wizard whose sole purpose in life is to torment the good people of this Minecraft town, most likely using his or her dark magic to increase the income tax, because let's be honest guys, what's worse than an entity with overwhelming power blatantly stealing your money? I found a decent plot of land in the mountains just south of the town that I thought could serve as a wonderful little forest area leading up to the tower. Frankly guys, this area of land I've chosen is going to need a lot of work before it's even close to usable. When looking at the current state of affairs for this mountain biome, I am reminded of LaCroix. Sure, I guess it's technically usable, but honestly it just kind of sucks. Don't worry guys, because this family drinks Propel and Propel only. So as you can see by this wonderful and not at all boring time-lapse, I'm really attempting to make the land here more conducive to building. Little did my past self realize this was about to be one of the most heavily terraformed builds I will have ever attempted in survival mode. This episode is only the beginning of what this land will eventually look like, so all of this will most likely still be altered next episode. Once finished walking around and looking at my work, I decide it's finally time to actually work on the main mountain and the cliffs leading up to it. Now let me preface this with a quick apology. This has been my first time since 5th grade recording a gameplay video, and the first time I've ever used the replay mod in Minecraft, so some of the footage either didn't turn out right or just didn't show up at all. I fixed the problem so future episodes won't continue to have these problems, but as you can see here, the first bit of the footage where I built the cliffside and started the mountain was completely lost. Moving on, however, from that truly embarrassing mistake, I'm actually making quite a bit of progress on the mountain. It is still incredibly blocky and could use some texture variation, but for a base canvas, it's not even that bad. I mean, seriously guys, I'm actually really good at building. It's no wonder Patrick is so obsessed with me. Speaking of Patrick, he's actually started work on a desert city, and because I'm his little bitch, I'm going to help him out on it. So my question for you guys is, should I intersperse the desert builds in with the wizard area, or should they be separate episodes entirely? Either works for me, but I'm not sure if that would break up the flow of the series. You guys should let me know. As you've probably noticed by now, I've started coming in and adding some of that extra detail I spoke about earlier, adding a gradient to the stone, which primarily cobblestone near the bottom to symbolize fallen rocks, and andesite near the top to make it seem more held together. I also use a mix between cyan terracotta and gray concrete powder to symbolize what I hope looks like maybe silt or something. Listen, I'm no expert on the formations of mountain ranges or their primary composition. I'm just a dude playing Minecraft, so if you want a more in-depth look at that, I'd recommend, I don't know, School or something. Really, the only reason I'm doing this is to make the rock face look less like a boring gravel driveway and more like what I'd imagine mountains to look like from what I've seen on Google Images. I've literally sat at my computer for almost 10 minutes now trying to figure out a good transition that makes this script flow seamlessly from mountain construction to the building of this cute little house on the side of the cliff, and I haven't come up with anything even slightly clever, so let's just move on. I really want to make it seem like people have gathered to worship this dark wizard, and I mean, who could blame them? I have a feeling that if someone came up to me and was like, hey man, I'm a wizard, you should probably worship me, I probably wouldn't even question his intent. Like, alright Mr. Wizard, sure, I'll get in the backseat of your car. It's so incredibly nice of you to offer to drive me home. Honestly, after writing that out, I am beginning to wonder if I might have some deep emotional trauma suppressed within me that makes me more easily susceptible to influence by someone who I view as more powerful than myself. Probably not. I mean, he is a wizard, so like, what could I even do? The house is starting to take shape here, and I'm especially liking how integrated it feels to the cliffside. Building the trees as supports really helps tie it to the surrounding area and makes it feel so much more complete. If you guys ever wonder what I do when a build feels like it needs a little extra love, and as I'm clearly demonstrating in this clip, all you really need to do is spam leaf blocks. Now, once again, I feel like it's necessary to let you all know that my replay file absolutely corrupted where I finished the mountain and added the base build for the prison on the back. So like, that really sucks because finishing the cliffside especially took a good 7 or 8 hours, and I can only imagine how sick it would have been to see all of that in a time lapse. Oh well, I guess not much I can do about it now except show you guys around. As you can clearly see, the build is looking fly as hell, but because that time-lapse file is gone, I don't feel like I have enough content to warrant an episode. So let's get to work on a creeper farm. As I've been building this giant stone hill, I've realized that having rockets to power my elytra is going to be absolutely necessary to continue the project. This being said, I'm completely out of gunpowder, which isn't exactly what you want to hear. I have been experimenting around with farms and I think I have found a design that works, so let's just get started. First, as my pickaxe is almost completely destroyed, I head over to my barely functioning ender to get it repaired. While there, I die, and in a fit of rage, decide to take a break from this game and play some Black Ops 2 Zombies to clear my mind. After slaughtering what seemed like an endless amount of zombies, I get back on to retrieve my things, and then it's off to work. First, as I think most people familiar with creeper farms know, you need cats to scare the boys down a hole, and to get cats you need to retrieve some fish. I've always thought it was quite weird that cats scare these guys away, because like, what in the world could a tiny feline do to such a beast of nature like a creeper? Obviously, cats have some divine power that is not known to mere mortals like myself, and I'll keep that in mind when I force them to breed for my own personal pleasure. After finally getting a respectable number of fish, it's off to find a village where some cats might be lurking. Like I previously alluded to, I only really need 2 cats because this game really allows some quite questionable breeding practices. Luckily for us, my morals are non-existent, so that works in my favor. After striking out at the outpost town I created for trading, I finally find some cats in a desert town not too far away. If these little cuties love me now, just wait until I force copious amounts of fish down their throats and force them to sit in one spot for the rest of their lives, depriving them of any sort of love or affection. I really am a great pet owner. Finally, I get to start on the actual building of the farm, and to be honest, this is one of the most satisfying time lapses yet. Like, I know it's kind of hard to see in the dark, but clearing out this land was actually so relaxing. However, building up the structure now, I realize how lame this thing looks. Good thing the mountain completely covers it because wow. And Jesus Christ, it took a lot, and I mean a lot of wood. Like, why in God's name, Mojang, did you make trapdoors so expensive? Do I look like I have stacks upon stacks of wood lying around that I can just willy-nilly spend? Honestly, outrageous. But yeah, there you have it. Wow, what a cool looking farm that hopefully maybe will work. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. This was a very different style of video than I'm used to making, and believe it or not, these kinds of builds take a lot of time. This has been a project that I have been filming for about 3 weeks now, so a like or a comment would be most appreciated. If you want more of this series, let me know, because I love documenting my work and being able to see progress. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you want to see me actually building or grinding on this world, be sure to follow my Twitch that I linked below. I'd love to livestream some of the work that goes into these videos, and if you want even more of me, you can check out my podcast, Thoughts from the Round Table, which will also be in the description. Thanks again, and I'll see you guys later.